Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 1210 Chandler Road here in Lake Oswego. We're located down in the basement. Going through a 4-inch ABS clean out here on the main stack. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. We're going through a spot here currently where we've got some standing water in the pipe. Looks like there's a fair amount. With the water currently running, there's about 2.5 now. So we'll check this out on the way back when the line's all drained out. Generally, once you get to around 5 feet or more of pipe with 1 inch or more of standing water, that's where I typically start to see just regular old toilet paper begin to collect. Bellies are one of those things that they can be lived with. A huge part of how they continue to function is by how the homeowner lives, making sure that the only thing going down the toilet is folded toilet paper, and then no fats or oils or anything like that, grease going down the kitchen sink. Even so, when you get enough water in there, though, it can cause just regular toilet paper to build up in the line and cause a blockage. So anyway, we'll check it out on the way back. We've gone through a couple smaller bellies here at the end, but they're very, very minimal. They'll drain out to almost nothing. Those I'm not concerned about and are not worth repairing. Now this right here is going to be the end of the line here at 154 feet. As you can see, we just went through another quite significant belly there a moment ago. So we're going to let the line drain out here for a moment. I'm going to go locate the camera head just to verify where it terminates. And then we'll reel back here in a moment when it's totally drained. And I wanted to mention too, it also transitioned to 6-inch PVC pipe there, about 30 feet back roughly. Alrighty, I was able to get a very close signal here to where this is at. I'm having a hard time telling exactly where it terminates. There is a sidewalk that kind of wraps around the whole house, and the line is heading out towards, I believe it's Iron Mountain Drive. And out on the sidewalk area, right in the walking way, there is a manhole, and I'm picking up the locate signal right in that area. There's a bunch of overhead power lines, though. I'm able to pick up half the signal, but not the whole thing. I'm going to do another set of locates here. It looks like this belly, there's 2 of them in the line that I'm concerned about. This one ends right at the main lateral. The line is pretty much all drained out at this point. We've had the water turned off now for about 4 or 5 minutes. We do have a home inspection going, so there's going to be a little in there, but this one here, we've got about 2.5 to 3 inches of water, which is plenty to cause a line to get built up and possibly cause a blockage. And we've got 2 bellies that are just about as significant as each other. So I'm going to reel back here to the beginning of the belly. I'm going to try and relocate here. I'll put a white X right where it starts. It looks like it starts here about 136 feet out and extends out to 154 feet to the main lateral connection. Actually, we're going to go back here a little bit further. All right, I was able to locate the camera head here successfully. I'm getting a depth. It's bouncing between about 9 and 10 feet deep. It starts right behind a park bench that's out lining that walking path out near the street area. I moved my camera a little bit around while the camera was paused, and once I get beyond this spot right about here, 5-6 feet beyond here, there's power lines overhead that are, at least it appears to be that's messing with my locator because it just starts bouncing all over. But there's a manhole right in the walking path there. I actually think that's where this line ends up terminating at. That's where I was picking up the signal originally when I was trying to locate it at the main. So anyway, in that circumstance, you'll have to call for locates to get that portion of it mapped out, unfortunately. It's quite deep, and with the power lines messing around with it, I just don't trust my locator. But that first spot there right at the beginning came in nice and clear there. It was kind of on a little bit of a slope, so anyway, but it's right behind a park bench. And it's marked with a white X. Okay, we've had a couple other spots. You can see that we do have a little bit of standing water here. This stuff is very minimal. If a repair is not done right off the bat, or you wait a while, what I would recommend doing is getting the line jet, hydrojet, and then to clean everything out of it, and then I would re-scope it in a year just to see what it looks like at that point. Everyone's living habits are different, and bellies for one family may not be an issue, but for another it's a big problem. A lot of that has to do with how much is going down the line. Now, under the water there, I'm seeing some kind of, it's really hard to tell if those are just scrapes and a little bit of grease there. This joint looks like it's shifted a little bit here, but it's pretty minimal. And I was making sure there's no obvious roots coming through there. Now this time, with no obvious issue going on there, that joint is just slightly offset. There's about a 32nd of an inch lip there. Again, we have a couple other spots here with bellies. Again, very minimal. You can see there's really nothing at all building up there. Spots like that, the only thing you're going to get hanging up at a belly that small is if you're putting, rags down the line or big wads of paper towel, stuff that really shouldn't go down the line. It just looks like it's some kind of debris that's hung up there. So stuff like this right here looks like it's paper towels or something like that. But anyway, that's what happens. That stuff comes down here and it gets hung up in it and it starts to build up. And especially when you have a turn in the line like we did just there, it's even that much more likely stuff's going to stop up, and it was all building up right here at the turn. So you put a belly and a turn in the line together, and you're just kind of asking for stuff to collect. Now I'm going to locate right here. This belly ends at about 38 feet, just after it rounds the corner here. I'm going to park the camera just prior to the turn. That way I can get a better locate. And locate this kind of off to the left of the front doorway area, about 20 feet or so, right in the bushes. I'm getting a depth here of around 10, 11 feet deep, which is entirely possible. This is going out at basement level. That's just awfully deep for being that close to the house, but anyway, we're going to do another locate right here at the beginning of the belly. Both ends will be marked with a white X. Now this one extends from, it's like 24 feet. Feet to 38 feet. I do recommend both bellies be corrected. Those are both significant. This first one here has got about 1.5 to 2 inches of water, depending on the area you're in. The second belly out has got about 2.5 to 3 inches of water. So both of those are totally capable of causing debris buildup and a blockage. So I do recommend they be fixed. Again, if a repair is not done, these things can be lived with. You just need to be careful as to what goes down the line. And then I would re-scope in a year to see if you need to jet the line out every so often to keep debris buildup to a minimum. Alright, well, okay, the camera head, we're only about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches outside the front foundation, marked with a white X. And again, there I'm also getting a depth right around 11 feet deep. Now, I would have locates performed here just to double check those depths. Again, it's going out at basement level. That's still quite deep for being just outside the foundation of the house. But I do recommend correcting both those bellies from 24 to 38 feet, and then again from 135 to 154 feet. And that second belly, you're going to have to call for locates on that one. It's due to some kind of interference, either overhead power lines or something underground. But once I get about 4 or 5 feet past the start of the belly there, my locator cuts out. Now stuff like this is a prime example of stuff you don't really want to put down the line. Big balls of toilet paper. You can see how they just don't really move. Now, if you're going to try and live with the belly for any amount of time, I would just try and do folded toilet paper if possible. It looks like there's a little bit of standing water here under the floor. Most of that there is being caused. We still have some water trickling down the line, and we have balls of toilet paper sitting in the pipe. But you can see how clean the pipe is here. There's no debris buildup whatsoever, just a couple pieces of toilet paper. I don't recommend any correction to this belly here. After the bellies are repaired out front, or if they're done, I recommend a re-scope to ensure they're done correctly.